Welcome to Families Are First Teachers, a video series designed to support families who are supporting learners at home. Presently, many families are finding themselves having to help their children navigate remote schoolwork. Some caregivers say they are feeling like substitute teachers for their own kids these days. However, we know about families that they are the children's first and often best teachers. These short videos are designed by experts in curriculum and instruction, behavior, and special education from Summit Educational Service Center and State Support Team Region 8, with the goal of empowering family members for the new teaching roles they find themselves in. Hi, I'm Kim Nagy, and I am a Regional Literacy Consultant for State Support Team Region 8. This session will focus on ways you can support your child, school-aged kindergarten through 12th grade, when reading at home. I hope this will be helpful for you as you navigate through these unprecedented times. Why should you support reading at home? When parents take an active role in reading at home, they help their child develop their reading ability, comprehension, and language skills. Reading with your child will improve your child's interest in reading, their attitude towards reading, and their ability to focus for longer periods of time. What can you as the parent do to help? Taking part in literacy experiences at home can develop your child's reading ability, comprehension, and language skills. Some activities that they can engage in at home include reading together, drawing, singing, storytelling, playing games, and rhyming. You can adjust activities to your child's age and ability level and can incorporate technology into all of your learning opportunities. The slides that follow will dive deeper into these activities by age, which will help your children become active readers. Teaching nursery rhymes to young children is a logical place to start. Since nursery rhymes are patterns, they help children learn easy recall and memorization skills. Nursery rhymes teach children that events happen in sequence, and they begin to learn how to understand stories and follow along. Children learn new words, develop their nonverbal communication skills. Nursery rhymes also help children understand how words are formed and enhance language communication and literacy. Nursery rhymes use patterns and sequence so children begin to learn simple math skills as they recite them. Read alouds are the magical method to improve your child's reading abilities at school. Reading aloud will entertain and delight them. Reading books to children stimulates their imaginations and expands their understanding of the world. It helps them develop language and listening skills and prepares them to understand written words. Once children learn to read by themselves, it's still important for you to read together. To help your child build background knowledge on a topic, talk about everyday experiences. Show your child pictures and tell them stories. The more you know about the topic, the easier it is to read a text, understand it, and retain the information. There are many ways to help your child build their background knowledge. Start by reading widely. Expose children to a large range of books from different subject areas and genres. Magazines such as National Geographic can be an excellent resource. Regularly visit the library. Encourage your child to read nonfiction as well as fiction titles from a range of genres. Use different media. A picture is worth 1,000 words is a cliche. However, a YouTube video clip, a documentary, or a detailed photograph can provide children with a range of information that might not be available from other sources and are particularly useful if a child has reading difficulties. Listen to the experts speak. TED Talks have amazing videos on many interesting topics for children as well as adults. Check your local library for library guest speakers. Go on excursions. Real-life experiences are more likely to be remembered and have a greater capacity to build background knowledge compared to any other strategy. Take children to museums, art galleries, live performances, different businesses or services, such as fire stations, police stations, farms, factories, post office, or visit a different environment. Maybe go to the ocean or a river, the city, the country, and our Metro Park system, which are all free. These experiences will provide children with a wealth of knowledge about the world and vocabulary that can assist them in their reading. Participate in community service activities. Visit a nursing home virtually. Listen to the residents' stories. Have your child read a story to a resident. You can raise money for a charity or learn about a charity and provide a service for a nonprofit organization. This can help provide children with historical and social knowledge about the world in which they live, as well as practical skills associated with raising money or providing a service. Have a pen pal. Connect children with children from other countries or cultural groups so they can join and gain not only knowledge of other cultures, but also other people's perspective. In this technological age, children can speak with rather than just write to pen pals. Learn a new skill. Actively participate in a sport or a hobby. On a regular basis, try a new activity. This will result in the acquisition of knowledge intrinsic to that particular activity. Word games are extremely beneficial because they help children focus on sounds and letters and develop skills they need for reading, writing, and spelling. Word games help improve vocabulary, increase concentration, and improve cognitive abilities in children. They can also be played anywhere: the car, the grocery store, at home, waiting for a doctor's appointment. A few examples of some word games are I Spy. Spot something to tell kids what letter it begins with, then have them try to guess what it is. A good car game to play is category words. Before you get into the car, come up with several categories to write across the top of a page: plants, animals, things we buy at the supermarket, things that you see on the road, any topic of interest. And draw the alphabet down the margin. Now ask your kids to come up with a word for each letter that fits in that category while they're waiting in the car. You might not fill in one for every letter, but it's a good brain jogger when you're still sitting around. Word hunting is perfect for kids who are practicing their alphabet skills. This game is all about collecting words you see around you. Give your child a notebook full of tasks to fulfill or words to find as they look at their surroundings, such as words that begin with D. Encourage your child to write down the letters in the words they see, then read the words back to them. For children who've started reading, make it more complex with specific tasks like words on restaurant signs or words with double letters. Then ask them to read the words back to you. Another great game for car rides is one letter change up. It's a great game for school-aged children. Find short words, 4 or 5 letters, and let your child come up with as many words as they can by changing one letter at a time. For example, park and dark, or mark and bark, or bags and bogs are just a few of the letters of the words they can use. Having conversations when reading with children helps them develop higher level thinking and language skills, such as predicting, problem solving, or contrasting. When reading books to children, ask your child questions and talk about the content of the story together, making sure to ask questions before, during, and after reading. Use open-ended questions. For example, why is it important to recycle? Why do birds fly south in the winter? What would you have done if you were that character? To think about the book's messages and what is happening, ask your child to apply the message to the world around them by connecting the events to their own life. Ask more and more complex questions so the child continues to build their vocabulary and language skills. Having children read aloud daily, both with and without feedback, helps them develop the skills of reading, fluency, and comprehension. When reading aloud together, take turns reading a passage in a book. Read the same passage from a book at the same time, or as you read a passage that your child reads and then reread with them. Set a slow, steady pace, slowing down for words that are challenging, pause for punctuation, and gradually increase the pace, moving on to more difficult books. Remind the child that reading fluently does not necessarily mean reading quickly. Make sure that the book is appropriate to the child's reading ability. If the book is too difficult, children can develop poor reading habits. Reagan McMahon provides 10 reasons why you should read to your older children. The first being that it builds vocabulary. Children who are read to encounter more words and learn how to recognize and pronounce them than they would just by being spoken to. And studies show that having a large vocabulary can help children perform better in school. It improves comprehension. When children are engaged and invested in the story, they understand it more thoroughly. You can check in as you go to see whether your child understands what's going on and ask what they think will happen next, what they think of the characters, and so on. It's a wonderful bonding experience. Positive experiences and warm memories of hearing stories from a loved one can inspire a lifelong love of reading. It also provides modeling. Children learn through observation and modeling. Reading aloud lets them hear what language sounds like. You can also model how to analyze a story as you read and how to figure out the meaning of a word using context clues. Reading improves listening skills. Reading aloud nurtures appreciation of rich language and helps train children's ears for understanding instruction. It's also a way to discover the classics. Children may be put off by the challenging language of Shakespeare or the old-fashioned settings of Jane Austen in school, but in a cozy setting at home, you can help the text come alive as you take on different characters' voices and fill in the historical context. It helps with discussing difficult issues as well. Children may tune out if you lecture them about what to do and what not to do. But if you read a story that shows characters struggling with serious conflicts and consequences of their actions, such as facing bullying, racism, religious or ethnic bias, or gender discrimination, it's a way into talking about complex situations. It's also a way to introduce different genres. Reading aloud lets parents introduce kids to different types of books and stories, helping kids learn which kinds they'd like to choose for themselves. Reading a variety of material boosts all kinds of learning. Try poetry, satire, autobiographies. This is also a window into your child's interests. Reading books on subjects or genres kids love, such as sci-fi, fantasy, mysteries, graphic novels, whatever it is, gives you something to share and discuss. Reading sparks curiosity and a thirst for learning. Nonfiction's books make great read-alouds too. For older children and teens, try books or articles by journalists covering current or recent events and world issues. There are lots of them going on now. And there are lots of popular histories that are so engaging, they read like nail-biting fiction. Engaging in conversations promotes a literacy-rich environment. It helps children develop higher-level thinking and language skills, such as predicting, problem-solving, or contrasting. Talk about school, magazines, or current events. Ask them what they are reading and discuss the books. Have a lot of age-appropriate and grade-level reading material around your home. Visit your local library or a used bookstore. Model good literacy behavior by reading regularly yourself. Reading role models have a powerful impact on children who are watching them read. Positive actions by role models create positive habits in children that cannot be learned in the classroom. To be a reading role model for your children, surround yourself with reading material. Talk to your children about all the things that you read. Buy or borrow books together. Read for pleasure. Bring something to read everywhere you go. Emphasize that reading is important. Whatever type of reader your child is, start a parent-child book club which can foster a love of reading and provide a fun way to get families in your neighborhood together, even if it's virtually. What's the right age for a book club? Any age is the right age to start. Just choose the participation level that's appropriate for your child. At any age, being in a book club teaches kids valuable skills: reading for understanding, relating reading to personal experience, how to participate in a discussion by taking turns, and respecting the opinions of others. In addition, kids get to build friendships with other book lovers and read books they might not have chosen to read on their own, because everyone in the group has to agree on what book to read. How do you get started, you wonder? Decide on the number of participants in your group. How often will you meet? Decide on what you will read. Choose a leader or rotate leaders each meeting. Continuing the habit of reading into teenage years helps teens deal with their increasingly complex world and to understand some of the adult issues they will have to struggle with. This shows them that they are not alone. Reading provides them with a perspective of understanding that others may be thinking and feeling the way that they do, and can open lines of communication, particularly if parents, teachers, and librarians provide opportunities to discuss what the teens are reading. Reading will encourage teens to share their feelings and see how others have found solutions to some of the same problems they have. It also helps develop their vocabulary and broaden their imaginations. 4 takeaways from this session are to read daily with your child, be a reading role model, have conversations with your child, and to ask questions as you read. I hope you enjoyed this session on how to engage your school-age child in reading. This slide provides you with the resources and websites used to create this presentation. And that concludes this module on ways to support reading for your school-age child, kindergarten through 12th grade. Thank you for joining me. If you found this video helpful, you can find additional ones just like it at the Summit ESC YouTube channel. Just visit YouTube and search for Summit ESC. There you'll find additional brief videos on self-care and social emotional needs, support for diverse learners, developing a growth mindset, and academic content supports. We hope these videos provide some new ideas, resources, and tips for supporting your learners at home and in life.